I'm 62 now, and before I go any further, I want to ask you for something simple. If you're watching this and any part of it feels familiar, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and leave a comment. You don't need to explain anything. Even a single sentence is enough. Not for the algorithm, for the record. Because stories like this disappear when people stay quiet. Now, the older I get, the clearer one thing becomes. In the 80s, we lived like the future didn't exist. Not because we were stupid, not because we didn't see the risks, but because everything around us kept telling us the same thing. These are the best years of your life. And if you're not living them all the way, you're missing something. Back then, none of us were asking the right questions. We asked, where's the party? Where's the music? Who's going to be there tonight? Nobody ever asked, what's going to happen to us in 10 or 20 years? It was Los Angeles, 1983. I came there from a small town in Arizona with one suitcase, a couple of shirts, and this feeling that real life was finally starting. LA wasn't some glossy dream city back then. It was loud, dusty, neon lit, and constantly tense. The air smelled like gasoline, hot asphalt, and cheap perfume. And at night, that's when the city really woke up. I lived near the Sunset Strip in an old apartment with paper-thin walls where music leaked in from every direction. During the day, I worked. Nothing glamorous. Not music, not movies, not show business, just regular jobs. Warehouse shifts, deliveries, some office work when I could get it. I wasn't chasing fame. I just wanted to belong somewhere. But at night, I lived like tomorrow didn't exist. The Sunset Strip felt like a different planet. Clubs opened late and closed even later. Neon signs flickered like they were alive. Music poured out of every doorway. You could walk into one bar and walk out of another without ever checking the time. Everyone looked a little better than real life. A little braver, a little less careful. We called it freedom. In reality, it was escape. I found my night family there. Tom, the guitar player who was always about to get signed. Ray, the bartender who knew everyone and everything. Mark, who changed jobs like jackets and always had money for drinks, no matter what. We didn't talk about plans. We talked about tonight. Drugs didn't feel dangerous back then. They weren't a problem. They were background noise, part of the furniture, like the smoke, the mirrors in club bathrooms, the sticky floors. Nobody said the word addiction. If someone went too far, we laughed it off. He drank too much. He partied too hard. He's just tired. Consequences were for older people. The 80s taught us how to live fast and how not to think about the bill. People didn't disappear all at once. At first, it seemed harmless. Tom moved away. Mark took a break. Someone stopped showing up. Someone stopped answering calls. In LA, disappearing was easy. The city swallowed people quietly. Then came the first funerals. Quiet ones, awkward ones, with no real explanations. AIDS was whispered about at first, like something distant, something that happened to other people. That's not us. That's somewhere else. Nobody explained anything clearly. The news talked carefully. Bars talked even more carefully. We kept living the same way, just with a thin layer of fear that nobody ever named. I remember one night standing outside a club, smoking and joking, when a guy I knew walked past us. Thin, worn down, empty eyes. Someone said, "He's broken." We nodded, not cruelly, not coldly, just normally. And that's where the story starts to turn. The turning point didn't come with sirens. It didn't come with shouting or drama. It came like everything else back then. Quietly, casually, almost politely. It was just another night. We were sitting in a bar off the strip. Music so loud you had to lean in close to hear anything. The conversation was automatic. Jokes we'd told 100 times. Complaints about work. People staring into their glasses like there might be answers at the bottom. At some point, Jimmy stood up and said he was going to the bathroom. He pushed through the crowd and disappeared down the hallway. Nobody paid attention. People vanished for a few minutes all the time back then. For lines, for pills, for sex, for silence. Nobody asked why. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Someone joked that Jimmy probably got stuck. We laughed. The music kept playing. The bartender kept pouring. Then Jimmy came back. He walked slowly, like every step cost him something. His face was white, not pale. White. His eyes didn't land on us. They went past us. He didn't speak right away. He stopped by the table, grabbed the back of a chair like he needed something solid, and said quietly, "Mark's in the bathroom. He's not breathing." No screaming, no panic. Just a sentence that didn't fit into the night. Somebody stood up. Somebody stayed seated. I remember thinking very clearly, this can't be real. Mark was laughing half an hour ago, complaining about the music, making fun of someone's jacket. But my body already knew before my brain did. We walked together. The bathroom was small and filthy. It smelled like alcohol, bleach, and something metallic I didn't want to identify. The lights were too bright, too honest. Mark was sitting on the floor, leaning against the wall. Eyes half open, mouth slightly open, like he just got tired and sat down for a minute. That was the worst part. He didn't look dead. He looked absent. Someone said to call an ambulance. Someone went outside for air. The bar didn't stop. Music kept playing. People kept coming in and out, laughing, flirting, ordering drinks, not knowing there was a body behind that wall. When it was over, there was no big scene. No crying, no hugging, no speeches. We went back to the table, finished our drinks, and went home. That's what scares me the most now, not that Mark died, but how easily we accepted it. How fast we learned to push death into a corner so it wouldn't interrupt the night. The next morning I woke up with a heavy head and this strange feeling that the night before hadn't been real. The sun was out. Cars honked. A dog barked somewhere. Los Angeles looked completely normal. I made coffee, lit a cigarette, sat on the edge of the bed, and my first thought wasn't about Mark. It was about my shift, about how little sleep I got, about how annoying it would be to get through the day. That didn't even alarm me, not yet. Back then, death didn't feel final. It felt nearby, but not personal. Someone disappeared. That was it. Someone couldn't handle it. Words without weight. For weeks, nothing changed. Same clubs, same bars, same bathrooms. Not because I was brave, because I learned not to look, and that's the ugliest part. The system worked, the city worked, the night worked. You could lose a friend and find a new group at the next table. Freedom was loud enough to drown out death. But something inside me had shifted. Laughter didn't land all the way anymore. I laughed with everyone else, but something stopped short. Like bad radio reception, like part of me wasn't tuning in. Then the dreams started. Not nightmares, just dreams where Mark was alive, talking, laughing, ordering another drink. And at some point in the dream, I'd realize I knew how it would end. I drank more, not to forget. I didn't think of it that way. Without it, the world felt too sharp, too detailed, too real. Months passed, then more. I realized I'd stopped counting losses. Another name gone. Another call unanswered. Another funeral I didn't attend because I'd already been to 2 that year. That's when something cracked. Not loudly, quietly, like metal breaking from fatigue. I realized I couldn't imagine the future anymore, not because I feared dying, but because tomorrow felt unreal. Planning felt pointless. Late at night, when the music stopped and the apartment went quiet, one thought kept coming back. If this is freedom, why does it feel so empty? I wasn't ready to stop yet, but I knew something in me had already started to break. My breaking point didn't start in my head. It started in my body. At first, it was small things. I couldn't sleep. Not after nights out, at all. I'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling while my heart raced like I was late for something I couldn't name. My hands shook for no reason. Thoughts looped, sharp and relentless. I told myself it was stress. LA always gives you excuses. Then came the fear. Not fear of something, just fear. Sitting at a red light, suddenly unable to breathe properly. Chest tight, vision narrowing, waiting for it to pass. It always did. So I pretended nothing happened, until one night, alone in my apartment, everything collapsed. No music, no people, no distractions. A wave of weakness so strong I had to sit down on the floor. Cold sweat soaking through my shirt. A noise in my head like a broken radio. I didn't think I was dying. I thought I was losing my mind. That terrified me more than death ever had. Withdrawal wasn't heroic. It wasn't brave. It wasn't inspiring. It was humiliating, shaking, anger, pain. A voice in my head whispering just a little. Just enough to feel normal. I don't know why I didn't listen. Luck, maybe, or exhaustion. Quitting didn't bring relief. It took away anesthesia. The world came back raw and loud. Colors too bright, sounds too sharp, emotions with no filter. But it gave me something else. Time. Not instantly, not cleanly, but slowly, unevenly, painfully. I stayed. Years passed. I met someone, got married, had kids, felt joy that didn't require escape. Joy that didn't disappear when the music stopped. Now, when I look at old photos from that time, I don't feel nostalgia. I feel clarity. We thought we were free, but those weren't wings. They were chains, shiny ones. Most of us never took them off. I did. And not because I was stronger, because I broke early enough to notice. That's why I'm still here. And that's why I'm telling this story. Not to scare you, not to judge the past, but to say this clearly out loud for anyone who needs to hear it. Freedom isn't living like there's no tomorrow. It's living in a way that lets you reach it.